guys, welcome back to another new moon collective reading. We do have a new moon today in the sign of Capricorn. It is also Capricorn season according to the Western astrological system. I haven't really had a chance to really thoroughly look over the astrology that's happening currently, but I do know that Capricorn energy seems to be a huge focus because there is so many planets right now in the sign of Capricorn. So I know with this new moon, it would be a really good time to start setting your New Year's resolutions, to start setting your goals, start getting clear on what it is that you would like to really ground in the material world, what you would like to see materialize, what you would like to see become successful. This would be a really good time to kind of start thinking about those things. But it is a really small window that we have, according to the astrology, to do that because Mercury will be going retrograde, I think on the 29th of this month. So yeah, from this point until the 29th, it's a really good time to kind of start setting your goals, planning ahead, setting those intentions for what you would like to see manifest and come into fruition next spring or summer season. It isn't really necessarily a great time to start anything new because of that Mercury retrograde that's coming up, but we can definitely start thinking about these things so we can start slowly taking the steps that we need to take over time that will help us get closer to whatever our goals are. So yeah, that's kind of the only astrology information that I've picked up from watching other astrologers speak about this energy. For me personally, it feels like it's a no BS time. Like right now we are heading into no BS. And I always correlate that energy to Capricorn energy, where it's like no games, we're focused, laser focused, we're being intentional, we're being disciplined, and we are climbing that mountain slow and steadily. So I definitely have been feeling like that Capricornian no BS type of energy since the last full moon. This has been a pretty intense moon cycle. A lot has happened. And so before we jump into the reading, I kind of want to go over a little bit of what has been significant for me that I've picked up during this time, because I know we're all a lot more connected than we think. And if something has been really prominent for me in my reality, I'm sure it can help somebody out there as well. Maybe you'll find that you've also been going through similar things. And I think it's all about sharing information to fill in any missing pieces that we may not have the answer to, or just to get some further direction if you need any. So last full moon, I mentioned in the description of the video that the song that I channeled was the Nicki Minaj Barbie Tings song. And in that reading, I was talking a lot about the Mars energy. The Mars energy was being reflected heavily. So we kind of dove deep into that energy. And some of what we talked about was to be careful not to be so aggressive, to be violent, because the low vibrational expression of Mars could be those things. And then it's funny that I channeled that song because I hadn't heard that song in such a long time, years. And I just thought it was funny that I channeled that song because I thought it really fit in with that Mars energy that we touched upon in that last reading. So I was thinking that maybe that energy was just kind of the collective energy, that aggression, that kind of competitive nature. But as the time progressed, it kind of stuck with me, and I'm the type of person, I really like to look into things really thoroughly and look into things. I'm talking down to the letter. It's just how I operate. So I started really dissecting that song and trying to see what is the message, what is the message here that Spirit was trying to give, was trying to convey with that song. And I'm going to say Spirit really surprised me, because the conclusion that I came to was that Spirit was trying to show me that when it's necessary, when need be, they are savage. Spirit is savage. Spirit is all loving, gentle, pure, kind, all of those things, of course, unconditional, has unconditional love to give, is accepting, all of it. But Spirit also is savage if they need to be, if it's required, if they need to lay a boundary, if they need to convey a message that says, we're watching you, we're watching every single move. So if you think you're getting away with some shady shit, like some shady behavior, just know that you aren't. And I feel like especially now is when the karma is really gonna start like rolling out for a lot of these people that have been doing some really shady things behind the scenes, and that have been thinking that they're getting away with it because maybe they have been getting ahead in life, maybe they have gotten certain rewards in life, and they're thinking that because they have those rewards and they're at the position that they're at, that they've acquired some type of leadership position, that means spirit is on their side, or that means that they're untouchable in some way, that they feel that they've won, that they figured it out, that they are this mastermind, they outsmarted everyone. I feel like anyone that's been in that energy is really gonna have something coming for them, because the way that spirit was showing it to me was, I don't know if you guys ever experienced this, but whenever, you're dreaming, for me, oh my God, it happens in the most frustrating situations. I'll be having a dream, and like in the dream, it's like if I need to run away really fast, like if someone's chasing me or I need to catch up to someone, for whatever reason I need to run, it's like I'm running in slow motion and like there's no way I'm ever going to get to wherever I need to get to. And in my dream, it's like I'm just like moving in slow motion. Or like the worst one too is like if you're like in your dream for whatever reason, like fighting in your dream, and you're like throwing a punch and it's like moving in slow motion. Does that happen to you guys? Anyway, that's the way that spirit was like showing it to me, because that happens to me sometimes when I dream. And they were showing it like the karma is coming, nothing goes unseen, and the karma is coming. People think karma is not real because, we live in a world where people are deeply disrespecting the feminine energy. Most people are. It's an unfortunate reality. That's something else that I really deeply just uncovered recently, is the fact that the divine feminine energy is not only being repressed, has not only been repressed for all of this time, but it is being deeply disrespected. And that is a big problem. The biggest problem, I think, why things are so corrupted and diluted, and why our world is in the state that it's in. And it's coming. I feel like the karma is coming. But they showed it to me like it's coming like in that slow motion type of way. So they're saying, best believe it's on its way, and it's already unfolding, it's already rolling out, it's coming, but it's been kind of lagging a little bit. But I think that we're heading into like a time where that lag is going to be lifted. Like it's not going to be in that slow motion energy anymore, but it's just gonna like come tumbling down. And in these last couple weeks to a month, I've been seeing like a lot of people being exposed, just different people from all different, whether it's personal or like collectively, people in the spotlight, or just stories I hear. Like there's been a lot of people that have been exposed, that they're being exposed. Things are coming out, a lot of truths, people's true colors are peeking out, and then that brings me back to that Nicki Minaj song, Barbie Tings, because in that song she says, know the whole operation been bugged the bitch. I know the whole operation been bugged. Like saying like there's something fishy going on, like there's something shady happening, which is another message that I've been hearing a lot too. It's like someone that's doing something behind the scenes, behind some type of like really good facade, really good, show that they have going on, but they're really like a mastermind, and they're very strategic, and they know what they're doing, and they're being sneaky, and they're pretending to be something that they're not. They're like mimicking and emulating a divine energy, but deep down they are not that. And that's why they can get away with a lot of things, whether it's they know it or not. Like, because I do believe that some people act the way that they do, and they do so very unconsciously, but still, like, it's still damaging and it's still harmful. And that's why that song came out. It's so aggressive and it's savage as hell, because spirit is not playing any games. Like spirit is like, nope, like you're not gonna be harmful and get away with it. You're not gonna harm the people that are healthy, that are here doing the work, working for spirit. You're not gonna harm those people and get away with it. I feel like spirit is very protective, And Spirit is really laying down the law. Spirit sees fishy ass shit happening behind the scenes, and they're like trying to expose it. Spirit is like not here for it. And even if you look at that cover art for like that song, it's like Nicki in the middle, and then like all of the girls surrounding her like dressed like her, but they're wearing like masks. So it's like they're trying to be her, you know, but they're not her. Like there's one her, but then there's all these women in the background like pretending they're wearing the mask. I just think it's all very telling. And I don't know, it makes perfect sense to me. I wanted to express it to you guys in case like you needed this message, in case something clicks in for you with this information, especially for you empaths out there. If there's anyone that's been bullying you, that's been gaslighting you, that's been just gossiping about you, or, you know, like misjudging your character, you know, saying that you're all of these negative, nasty things, that they are the ones that are those things, you know, like they're projecting all of their negativity and saying that that's what you are, because they can't fathom that you could be what you really are, you know, because when they measure themselves next to you, it makes them have to face themselves, and it makes them have to see the truth about themselves, and that's something that they can't handle. So then they start making up all of these stories about you to justify their character and what they are. And Spirit is not here for it. Spirit is laying down whatever the hell they're here laying down. Spirit is laying something down, okay? Like they are just not here for it. And that's why that song came out. Because sometimes you have to be savage. Sometimes you have to protect yourself. I'm also feeling like that Archangel Michael energy. You know, he has a sword. Like he's a fighter. Like he's a warrior. He has a sword for a reason, you know? He's there to use that shit. And I feel like his energy, his presence is really like here in the collective throughout these times, like to try to balance this out. I feel like it's trying to be balanced out, because the second that they hurt a good person, a person that's working for Spirit, a genuine person, a pure person, a person that is well-intentioned, and then the empath starts internalizing those things and starts believing those things about themselves, that's a problem for Spirit. Spirit is not going to let that fly. You know, empaths, they do that. They tend to start, you know, feeling guilty and second guessing themselves and internalizing those things and like, oh my gosh, wait, am I those things? Is that true about me? Is that what's the truth? So right now, it's so important for you guys to really like know thyself, know yourself, know who you are, know your, you know, like how are you showing up, your energy, and take accountability for it. Don't let yourself get confused. If you're the empath, you know you have good intentions, you know you're a good person, you know you're pure, you are protected. I'm here to tell you, you are protected. And anyone that's been hurting you is gonna get theirs, guaranteed, all right? So just trust in Spirit, trust in the divine flow and the divine order of things, because nothing goes unnoticed, nothing goes unseen. And like Nicki said in that song, I don't want to have to check bitches, tell them where they Nikes. You know, like nobody wants to check anybody, but they will if they have to. So I don't know, I just feel like if you feel like you might be a person that is gaslighting or putting on a show, putting on a front, wearing a mask, not showing who you really are, I think it's a good opportunity for you to just start reflecting, start seeing like what you're doing, your actions, and take accountability for yourself and be better. It's not okay for you to harm other people. It's not okay for you to gossip, for you to talk down on other people, for you to spread rumors, make up stories, lie. That isn't okay. Especially well-intentioned people, they are highly protected. Don't you ever try to mess with one of them, because the karma that you're going to get from that, it's going to be a whole reversal of fortune. Whatever it is that you've acquired, that you've gotten because of your shady ways, there's going to be a huge reversal. Spirit is here to bring balance, to bring an equilibrium. Nothing goes unseen, nothing goes unnoticed in the eyes of Spirit. You may be able to fool other people, but you're not fooling them. And I don't know who thinks they can go against God. If you're asking me, that's real dumb. It's a real dumb thing for anyone to try to do, is go against God. So Use this as a time to repent, to recognize what you're doing, recognize the harm you're causing, and to step back and to come clean. If you've done something, come clean. If you've lied or been hurting anybody or something, if you've been doing anything, this is the time to come clean, because if you don't, there's going to be some huge repercussions, some huge consequences. Like I said before, Spirit is all loving, all accepting, and they accept you too. But you have to prove yourself. You have to be able to put down your own ego if it means it's for the betterment of the collective in some way. It's not all about you and your wins and your gains and keeping your position of power. Your time is up. So again, just use that as your warning from Spirit to really check yourself, to reflect, have a reflection practice, really, check your actions, your motivations, what's driving you, and just make sure you're coming from an honest place, that you are acting from a place of wisdom, and that you are acting from a place of integrity. And if you feel like you don't have those things, then seek that help, seek that guidance from somebody that, has it. Whether that's a therapist, whether that's a religious, leader, or whether that's a spiritual leader, a shaman, even astrologer. You can even I don't know, maybe. I say that because we have this card at the bottom of the deck, that this cosmic knowledge, and that's what that represents. It's like astrology and like hidden occult type of teachings. So just get the assistance if you feel like you need it. Get yourself off of this path, come clean, apologize, do whatever you need to do if you feel that you were harmful to someone that was innocent and someone that was well-intentioned and someone that was pure, someone that did not deserve that treatment. Because we are entering this no BS zone, and I'm feeling like karma is really going to come down hard on some people, and it is well-deserved. Because the way that the divine feminine energy is being disrespected is truly heartbreaking, is so disheartening, and it isn't right. But the divine feminine, she is rising, and she is rising within us. Spirit's warriors that are here on earth doing this kind of work. Spirit is working through us, and she is rising through us. So that's why we are being heavily protected right now. Okay, so with that being said, now let's get into the reading for this new moon in Capricorn. So what I'm seeing here with these cards is it's talking about leaving something. It's talking about like, where are you putting your actions? What are you planning to do here? Because they're pointing to making plans to leave something, making plans to leave something behind. Even if it's just to like take a break, to clear your mind, to really gather your thoughts and to see like where it is that you want to go, like just to make sure like, okay, am I on the right path? Am I on the right trajectory? Is where I'm heading where I want to go? Is this really what I want? Is this really my path? Is this really my purpose? Does this really represent my light? So yeah, Spirit definitely wants the collective to create a space to be able to like reflect on these things. So they want you to like remove yourself from your daily schedule, routines, life, whatever it is that you're doing. They want you to remove yourself from it and to reflect if you are indeed on the right path, if you want to continue to invest in this path, to go down this route. They want you to really be clear about what it is, like what's going to make you happy. If you had to think about, like your happily ever after, your end game plan, what does that look like? And are you on path to that, like whatever that is for you, does it coincide with what you're doing now? They want you to kind of take that time to assess these things, to analyze these things, to see like if you are indeed moving in that direction of what your ultimate happily ever after looks like to you. Because what I'm seeing here is that it looks like a lot of you guys, myself included, I'm included in this collective reading as well. It seems like most of us can be very comfortable doing what we're doing currently, but it's not like what fulfills us. It's not what makes us happy. It's kind of like monotonous. It's like what we have to do at this point, what we feel we have to do, like what we feel is our responsibility. It's like the way that you've been leading your life, you're really good at it because maybe it's become second nature, maybe it's become repetitive, you're just used to it, you've gotten good at it. But it's showing me that there's something here about it that is unfulfilling, is boring, feels like you're kind of just like on autopilot almost, like you kind of zone out and you're just constantly daydreaming or thinking about something else, maybe thinking about like what makes you happy, you know, while you're living this life, and like while what you're doing here in this physical world isn't really what is fulfilling you. And that's why you check out and you start daydreaming, and then you're like on autopilot and you're not present in the moment, and you're just kind of like going through the motions to go through the motions, but you're not like truly living from a place of authenticity, you know, when you're living like on autopilot and when you're not truly present in the moment, savoring and experiencing everything, you know, in your immediate environment, when you're not fully engaged with your immediate environment. So whatever it is that you daydream about, you know, whatever it is that like you kind of check out of whatever it is that you're doing, like let's say, you know, you've been driving down the same route to your job for a long time and you almost get there without even realizing it. Has that ever happened to you guys? Like, I know that used to happen to me all the time. Like I would get up, I would get ready, do what I have to do, leave my house, drive and get to work, and it's almost like I'd be like, dang, like I'm at work. I don't even remember like how I got here because I was like on autopilot the whole time, you know, and you're just like in your head, like daydreaming or thinking about something else, or completely checked out, completely not present and in the moment. So Spirit wants you to like pay attention. Like, what are you daydreaming about? Could it be that what you're daydreaming about, does this have any inkling? Does this show you what it is that's going to bring you fulfillment and happiness? And how can you align your life to whatever that is, you know, so that you're not living this life that you feel bored in, or that you feel like isn't fulfilling you in some way, and that's why you're checking out. Spirit is encouraging us to explore other possibilities, other routes, other directions, to not be afraid of change, to embrace change. Spirit wants us to embrace change because so many of us are living lies. We're living a life that is a complete lie to ourselves, to our soul. Our soul doesn't like it because it's not its path. It's not what your purpose is. It's not living its truth. It doesn't have to be as nefarious as like I was talking about, you know, in the beginning of the reading with the Nicki Minaj song, like, oh, these people, they're wearing masks and they're doing sneaky things. Like maybe it's not as like Machiavellian as that. Like maybe it's just simply like you're living this life that you don't want to be living, you know, like because of whatever reason, because this is what you were taught was what you had to do. And then you did everything that you thought you had to do, and then here you are unfulfilled. Or you're just putting on this show, you're putting on this front, and you're never truly showing your true colors because of whatever reason. Maybe you thought that who you truly are is never going to be accepted, or you thought like, oh please, like the things that make me happy, it's a dream that can never be. I'm gonna go down the route that's kind of like tried and true and like safe. Spirit is trying to like influence us to really be who we're meant to be, to do what we came here to do, to fulfill what our soul came here to do, to unlearn whatever it is that you learned, you know, whatever it is that brought you down the path that you are currently on. There's some unlearning that has to happen here. Spirit is making that very clear. Spirit is saying you need to start gathering information, you need to start getting curious, and you need to start unlearning things and having beginner's mind again, and just being free, like a child, like a kid, where you're just optimistic and you just have no idea what's happening, but you're just happy and you know it's gonna be okay, and that you're gonna have a great time, and that you're here to learn, to have brand new experiences. Spirit wants us to authentically express ourselves in our own unique ways, Spirit wants us to embody that feminine principle, that feminine energy of living from the heart. You know, this is the problem today, is so many people are out here like only using their logic, their left brain, strategy, their masculine energies to maneuver, you know, through life, you know, to like have all of this control and like make things happen, versus like staying out of the way and just going with the flow, being more receptive, you know, surrendering, trusting in spirit, trusting in that divine feminine energy, letting her lead, trusting in her, not thinking that it's crazy or it's kooky or it's this, that, the other, and just respecting it, but seeing the importance of that energy as well and letting her come up and letting her thrive, letting her take up space and guide your life. And it's not to say anything bad about that masculine energy, because some of us actually need more of that masculine energy, like myself, for example. You know, I have a North Node in Aquarius, so if anything, for me personally, I need that masculine energy. I need to start learning how to be more strategic and how to have more order and how to be more like masculine, how to build up those skills, because they're both important. They're both equally important. But like if we're talking about collectively, which is, this is a reading for the collective, yes, it's like the other way around, where most people are completely disregarding the feminine energy. And that's the problem, is that people aren't using their heart. They're not relating to certain situations, to other people, to themselves, to God. It's all just like a bunch of platitudes, a bunch of like dead, you know, beliefs, that it's just like you think you have to apply these things to every single situation in your life. Well, because the Bible said so, or whatever, you know, whatever. It's not like that. You need to see it more holistically. There needs to be some context here. You need to know how to use your heart, know how to relate to things, instead of over applying this masculine energy and over applying logic, where what you really need to be doing is relating to something. How are you relating to it? Start reflecting on that. How are you relating to feminine energy, to intuition, to emotion, spirituality, the energetic undercurrents that are happening? It's like you need to turn that part on. For so many of us, that part of us is completely turned off. We've trained ourselves out of being able to like connect, you know, connect to nature, to relate to God, to see God in all things, to see God in action, to understand, you know, the cycles, death, rebirth. Just observe nature and you will start seeing how God works, how God operates, how you operate, your relation to all of that. So many people can't fathom a relationship to those things because it's completely turned off. And that's what Spirit is trying to say, like we need to turn that part back on, because that's the part that is like, will guide you, like that spirit, you know, like that's the part that's going to connect you to Spirit, going to allow you to have like that direct connection to Spirit, and that is going to make life magical. And once you're in flow and present and completely surrendered and trusting, that's what's going to lead you down your path. That's going to bring you your happiness, because it's like you're living out your truth, your purpose, your authenticity. You're living from the heart. So it's naturally just going to unfold. It's not something that happens overnight. It's a process. You have to learn how to be in process. And there's never no end to the process. The ending is your awareness. So it's like, this is what we need to work on as a collective, is being able to be ourselves and not be afraid to be ourselves, and not be afraid to follow those impulses that maybe don't make sense, maybe have no logical basis. So it doesn't make sense to your logical mind. But you not listening to it and you repressing it is what's going to keep you living this life that you aren't happy about, that you are not fulfilled in, that you're bored with, because you're missing like what makes life magical. And it is that feminine energy that allows you to connect to something bigger than you, Like living a life that's full of miracles and that's magical has everything to do with you and how you're relating to life. And you're the one that makes life magical. So if life is boring and dull and same old, and who cares, and none of this is impressive, that part of you is off. You need to work on turning that part of you back on, because life is absolutely beautiful, full of magic, full of miracles. Like every single day I experience something just like mind-blowing, some kind of synchronicity, some kind of just something I can't explain, just spirit, the way spirit communicates with me and gives me instantaneous answers. I have such a strong connection to God and to my spirit team and my spirit guides. They're always with me and I'm always in connection, and my life is magical, it's beautiful. And to somebody else that's not in touch with their femininity, they look at me like, that girl is crazy. That girl is completely fucking batshit, you know? And meanwhile, I'm over here having the time of my life. So you can think I'm crazy and batshit all you want. I am thriving out in these streets. I'm living my truth. I'm living authentically from my heart, expressing myself in the unique way that I'm meant to express myself in. And I'm on path. Living in my truth, living my dharma. And I wouldn't trade it for any of whatever the hell that you have over there with your, ultra logical ass life. And again, I'm not like knocking it, because I am acknowledging that I do have to cultivate those things, because turns out I don't have a strategic bone in my body. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I mean, I'm not kidding, but not for long. I'm working on it. I'm trusting in spirit. I'm trusting that things will continue to unfold, and I'm working on it, That is my north node, so that's something that I haven't yet mastered. That's why I'm here in this life. I'm ready to master that part. So coming from someone that has a Leo south node, that has mastered, living from the heart, being authentic, being true to myself, letting my emotions guide me and lead me, and really trusting in what my heart tells me, and living a life that's playful and fun and childlike, and coming from a generous, kind, authentic, and pure space. I think I'm a good person to tell you guys this message of how to turn that on. And you don't necessarily need to have like any of these south node, north nodes, like it doesn't matter. It's just the energy. But because I do have those placements, I think I would be someone great to be talking about these things, because I feel like I have mastered that. I'm good at that. I'm good at living through my heart. It comes very naturally to me, living based off of my intuition and my authentic truth and my authenticity, and placing value and importance on that. And yeah, maybe I did have to learn the hard way that you do need to have some kind of, be good with the numbers and be good with math and stuff. Like, I'm not great with that, God knows, but I'm willing to learn, because I know that I need it. I know that it's a balance. It's all about balance. And I need that part too. But most people need to let the divine feminine rise up. Let her take up space, let her lead, and stop disrespecting her by thinking that she's not real, by not valuing her, by abusing her, not acknowledging her, and mistreating her because you perceive it as a weakness or something, or you don't see the value, or it's something that you just simply don't understand. I think we should all do a ritual apologizing to the divine feminine energy, apologizing for any abuse, any mistreatment, any disrespect, recognizing our wrongdoings and doing better. Spirit wants us to connect to who we're supposed to really be, what we came here to be, what we came here to blossom into. Spirit wants us to connect to that, to connect to our truth, to connect to our dharma. And you need to let the divine feminine rise up in order for her to align you and put you on your path. So don't worry about everything you have to do, your responsibilities, all of this stuff, contracts, what's expected. It's time for you to go off-road, to take the road less traveled, to figure some stuff out, because a lot of us are living a life that is not our truth. It's not what we're authentically here to do. There's an imbalance here. We are deluded. That's why Spirit is saying take the steps, take the actions to pull yourself away from your everyday routine. Really assess what makes you happy. Take responsibility for your emotional state. Really get that regulated, get that balanced out, and really reflect on what is happiness to you. What is your ultimate happiness? What is your ultimate happily ever after? What does that look like to you? And are you on path? What you're doing currently, is it in alignment with whatever that is? Because something about your everyday life, what you're used to, is like not it. It's not it. Spirit wants most of us to take a different way, to be able to see things differently, have a different approach, start learning, start gathering information, start being like more open-minded to things, and start unlearning things, and start having like a beginner's mind again when it comes to certain things. Be more like in this childlike energy where you're flexible. You're flexible. You're not trying to control things. You're surrendered. You're moving through life with your heart completely turned on, unblocked, letting it lead the way, letting it merge you on your path. Spirit is here to help you. Despite her being disrespected and unseen and unacknowledged and unappreciated, she is still here with her unconditional love, wanting to bless you and wanting to put you on path, wanting to see you live a life of happiness, see a life that you wake up every day and you are more than happy, more than excited to live. It's not a life you have to tolerate. It's a life you wake up and you're happy to be present in. And maybe you guys are already on your path. Maybe so many of you are on path, but you're just not present. So you're like missing the magic of your life and missing that connection and missing the magic of the moment, you know? So it is just a time to really reflect and see, like, where do you stand? Where are you? And where are you heading? And also another message that's coming out here is that you will get your answers with a lot of sleep. So right now, like, it's a time to really rest, get your sleep, make sure you're getting a lot of sleep, getting enough rest. I think when we're sleeping, when we're resting, we're going to be getting a lot of like insights or something. So pay attention to your dreams, or pay attention to like right before you fall asleep, or like right when you wake up, like any messages that come through, any ideas. I feel like you guys can be getting like really potent messages or ideas around these times. Okay, so that was our message. That was a long one. So if you stuck around, thank you so much for listening. I hope that these messages have served you. If you have anything you'd like to share with me, I'd be more than happy to hear any feedback on anything that we talked about. Sending you guys so much love, big hugs. Enjoy this energy, take full advantage of it. Next time I do one of these, we will be in the new year. So happy holidays, happy new year. I'll see you in 2023. Bye guys.